There it is.
And we'll turn that on. Yep. So hopefully that changes something. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
You're trying to catch those leads. You got to be on it quick. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you gotta be on it. And it's like, holy gosh, phone in my face.
Ah.
It was only this side of me.
It wasn't attached to you and ready to hit that button and get the
I
thing.
can get one
huh?
of our halter light, you know.
You can get one of those smart watches.
The holster.
I just have a halter. And then it'll.
Ready?
Oh, there it is.
Good luck. Hopefully it works.
Paul pinged you with it. He hasn't announced it yet, but he pinged you with
Hasn't
it.
announced it yet.
No.
Well, I'll tell you my secret. And we had a very large
My grandparents live right down the road for 65 years, so I know kind of that area pretty well. But it's a beautiful home piece of property. Yeah. This is where outside is the whole farm is.
Hey! Good, Marvin. Good to see ya. Sitting here resting. little snooze. Oh, just kind of. Yeah, not snoozing, but you know. I have been. I need to. Also, I need to get some zapping done probably one of these days too. I'm not feel okay. I mean, oh, I've been zapped several times. Apparently so. I wear a cap, but you got a watch it. Yeah, but I know I wear the flaps. Yeah, Roger was talking this morning, Shuey, that his son Ryan's going to take one off somewhere in the back of his neck or something. Doesn't look cute. So.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You're stuck with me. I get to talk today. Yeah.
We missed that.
He's keeping busy. Yeah. Yep. So.
Round them up.
Yep. Good morning. Good morning. 10 o'clock, we'll get started here. We want to value your time there for coming. Thank you. I know it's last days of summer before school starts, all that fun stuff, right? So,
Hello.
got a couple things on the agenda today.
You can obstruct you want to
See Melissa, so we'll kind of skip that. All right. She's ringing up a storm over there, so good. All right. Good morning. We'll let everybody else get in here real quick. All right. So I think Melissa had a couple announcements about schedule for this week. So hopefully everybody's plugged into Basecamp, right?
Yes.
Yes. So on Basecamp, we just want to remind everybody where to find the CE classes. You go in under More HQ and go to schedule. You can see all the classes that are scheduled for the week. And if we're recording something like today's meeting, at the bottom, you should see an embedded link when it's going on, and you can watch it live or watch it afterwards. So just want to point that out. But real quick, there are a couple things going on this month, so I think Melissa wanted to at least...
So, of course, today, Cross Country is doing their low and no down payment class. It's a really good class, so you guys should take that. So when we do, when I do put the classes on the schedule, there'll be a registration link. So just be sure that you register for a class if you're wanting to attend, because we do send it to outside agents as well. Unless it's our tools training class, then at that time, that's just for our more agents, unless it's through a title company. Yes.
Real quick question. This is my first meeting. If I want to get the CE credit and I didn't, sign up ahead of time, how do I do that?
So what happens is if it's through the title company, they'll email you. You just have to make sure that when you take the class that you do the sign-in sheet, so that they'll email you that you're.
So some of the title companies use our sign-in sheet to kind of preload the people that came, so it's always better and easier for them if they already have you on the list. If you show up and you weren't on the list, just make sure you talk to the title rep.
Because they'll still require that they sign in as well.
So they'll have a sign-in sheet when they come
Yeah.
in?
Right.
Yeah.
They just pass it.
Pass it around.
Yeah.
So today should be a CE class. I'm not sure where the sign-in sheet is.
Not for the weekly meeting, because Kim's gone.
Kim's gone, but
Right.
for cross country,
Cross-country, yeah.
it is
Yeah,
a
it should
CE. Okay, just wanted to make
Go
sure,
down,
because
go
Kim's
down,
gone,
so.
she's out of town, so we want to make sure. So this Wednesday, we have the RPR mobile class. That's through Chicago Title, so they have a rep coming in to teach that class. So, yep, there it is. And then Thursday, we have for our tools training for here at Moore, we have all about listing paperwork. And that's from 10 to 11. And then we have social media, Facebook, Instagram, and that's going to be provided by Stewart Title. And that is going to have lunch. So you get free lunch on that one. So next Tuesday, we have, next Tuesday. So we have, that's the 27th. Learning the pitfalls of dual representation in a transaction. So I'm not sure if you're aware, we do require that you get pre-authorization unless you've had prior pre-authorization to do dual agency on representing the seller and a buyer at the same time. So we're going to go over the risks it is, definitely with dual representation. So just be sure to sign up for that class so that we know how many people are attending. And I'm going to hand it over to you.
Sounds
Thank you.
good. Any questions about schedules or anything?
Can you see that on the app or just when you're on a computer?
No,
All
so
of
it's
it's on the
available
app
on
as
the
well.
app. Yep. So you just have to go into, on the app it looks a little different, but you go into More Relay HQ.
Okay, HQ. Thank
Yep.
you.
And then click on the calendar, schedule and calendar. So, very
Mm-hmm.
good. Thank you. Hopefully everybody finds Basecamp useful. I did see an announcement from one of our agents that they're having a broker open today. We don't normally announce those, but I wanted to at least give a plug out to him. So since he's having it today with bagels and beverages, so here's the details of the property. If you guys can make it and support one of our agents, we encourage you to do that. So just want to do that. Derek, you got a promotion going on.
Any new people? I know we got one. And first time meeting, I know we got one too, right? Curious. Two? We got two first timers. Good. Excellent. 3. Good. We're having a contest. I'm sure you guys hopefully have seen it by now. That you can win a vacation for referring somebody to me. And if you do have somebody that does sign up, you get a $75 gift card from me. So thank you for everybody that has referred to me and keep them coming.
Sounds good. So more details on Basecamp. If you search under More Contest, talks about the rules and all that fun stuff for Derek there. So
Yep.
very good.
Yep.
So we're still growing.
Yep, of course.
What number are we at?
320.
320.
Nice.
All right. All right. Sounds good. So let's get to the agenda topics here. So I don't know if you want to hand these out real quick. So we do have a special guest with us with Freedom Home Warranty. How many know that Dennis decided to move on to a different role with the company? So come on up, introduce yourself.
Dennis 2.0.
Dennis 2.0, there you
I'm
go.
just kidding. Don't call me that.
A familiar face though. She's been gone for a
Yes.
little while, but you didn't bring the baby with her.
I didn't bring the baby. No,
Oh.
we would not learn a thing. We would all be very in shape though. So, do you want to take the lead and just kind of?
Well, introduce yourself. I don't know if everybody knows you.
I'm Chelsea Riley. I'm with Freedom Home Warranty. Good to see lots of familiar faces, lots of new faces. I now have business cards that you're out with the brochures. So if you don't have my business card, feel free to grab one. It's the same number that you would have reached Dennis at before as well. So I'm here to help you with all things home warranty.
So she's a great resource for us. There's lots of home warranty companies out there, but tell us why yours is a little different.
So we're absolutely the best because home warranty companies are very similar. The packages they offer vary a little bit. What is most important when you choose a home warranty company is the service that you get from the rep. So we all know that when catastrophes happen, they usually don't happen at 2 in the afternoon or, you know, on your lunch break when you can just pick up the phone and help them. Catastrophes typically happen, you know, in the wee hours of the morning or late at night or when you least expect it or when you're on vacation. So it's nice to have a rep like me who is available to you. I make myself available to you if you have problems, if you need help with a claim, if you're not sure how to place an order, if you've never used our website before, if you're not sure about coverage, whatever the question may be, that's what I am here for. I have worked with a lot of other home warranty companies and other reps with home warranty companies that just don't really make themselves available to agents. They get busy, they don't answer their phone, they're hard to reach, and the last thing I want is for you to have to act as the home warranty expert in front of your client. I don't want you wasting your time on home warranty stuff. Pass that off to me. Do what you do best. Go sell homes, go get listings. Leave me to work with the home warranty stuff. Yeah.
Freedom Home Warranty, don't they offer or allow you to use your own contractor?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing I really like about Freedom Home Warranty. When most home warranty companies offer a contractor to you, it is a contractor that they refer most of their business to, if not all of their business in that particular field. So let's talk about appliance repair, for example. Appliance repair contractor through a home warranty company. Sometimes if you have a repair or a client that has a repair, if you go through the home warranty company, it can take 2-3 weeks at times to get them on the contractor schedule, simply because the home warranty company sends them so much business. They get such a discounted rate with that contractor that they send all of their business to them. But that is kind of at the detriment to your client, because they wind up having a refrigerator that, you know, has gone tits up for, you know, 2 weeks waiting for the contractor to come out. So it's a huge benefit with Freedom Home Warranty to be able to use your own contractor. If you have a good contractor that you like, or someone refers a great contractor to you, your clients can absolutely use that contractor.
Good. So we're going to talk a little bit about home warranties, and we just want to tell you up front, we don't get any kickbacks for home warranties. As agents, you don't get kickbacks for doing them, right? So why would you sell a home warranty? Why would you talk about a home warranty?
There's a legal coverage if there's a home warranty against some, a little obscure lawsuit too.
So it gives you another avenue to address issues, right? So I sell them and I talk about them with every one of my clients for peace of mind, knowing that I did my job. Because I don't want to think 6 months or a year from now when somebody connects with me and says, oh boy, my dishwasher broke. I don't want to think, oh, did I talk about a home warranty or not? What?
You have to say yes or no. It's on the form, so you have to ask the question.
Yeah, well, you don't have to, but I mean, it's certainly a habit that you want to get into, right? And so I encourage you, and we don't have to use Freedom, even though we would love to. We do have brochures for other home warranty companies out there. So Moore does not endorse one company over another. We just want to make sure you know that they're available to you. But the main thing is that you can have peace of mind knowing that you've done your job, right? How many of you guys love buying extended warranties on TVs? I don't do that, right? But a TV is a $500 purchase, whereas what's a home purchase? Thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And for you, it's really that extra buffer if something comes up and happens, right? Major appliances that come up that may break or have issues with it, you can then kind of refer off to the home warranty company.
Also, with first-time home buyers, they're scraping up all the money they have put down on that house. So to give them some peace of mind, as you say, a home warranty is just good as gold.
That's very true. You brought up a good point. That's probably the #1 reason that home warranties are sold today, especially for first-time home buyers. I mean, by the time they move in, do they have the money to replace a refrigerator or a dishwasher or a washer and dryer? Probably not. They've dumped everything they have into that home. And so the home warranty there is to act as a safety net.
Yes.
My previous broker decided that not talking home warranty to a buyer was a liability to the agent and the company. So they actually had us sign a decline if they didn't wanna do it, so that we made
A lot of
sure that
companies
we.
do.
So we
went
gave you
over it
a
and
sample of what
offered it.
those are. Moore does not have a form that requires that. There are a few brokerages that you probably see the form that they have a relationship with a home warranty company that they get paid a kickback on, and so they have to disclose those. We do not. However, almost all the brochures have a spot for you to talk to your client about it and have them decline. For me, it's just knowing that the peace of mind that, hey, I talked to them about it. When is a good time to talk about a home warranty? With your seller or your buyer?
Right up front.
Anytime, great time. But for you, I mean, when do you think would be the most logical time?
Offer time, list time.
Yeah. So if you're making an offer, there's a spot that they should answer, yes, do you want a home warranty or not, right? How about during the inspection period? Yeah? I mean, you're sitting there at the house, maybe with the home buyer there for 2 hours while the inspector does his running around and, does all this stuff. Do you have maybe a little bit of downtime?
Yeah.
I bring one of these with me. I actually bring 2 or 3 with different companies. So I give them a choice, but I explain the advantages of each of them. But I know that I've given them to them and then let them make the decision. I oftentimes won't ask for it maybe with the offer up front, but during a home inspection, after that, when I negotiate for repairs, most of the time that's when I'm always at least talking about that and saying, hey, can we include one of those? It seems to me to be the easiest time to get somebody else to pay for it because they're just so excited that that's the only thing you're asking for. The inspection period is done. So the listing agent's like, oh, you're not hitting me with these thousands of dollars worth of repairs. You just want a home warranty for $500 or something like that, right? So the other thing that I've used with Freedom Home Warranty is they do have a rekey service. So I oftentimes will give that to my client as a closing gift. So if you pay the $65 for a service fee, for the first service fee, and actually you can have the seller do that for you if you add it to your home warranty cost, they will come by and rekey the house, right?
Yeah.
So how many know that there's a lot of keys floating around for those houses sometimes? The realtor had a few keys, the homeowner had a few keys, and how many of you get to the house and they left 2 keys? Did the homeowner really only have 2 keys? Let's face it, that's not true, right? So peace of mind of knowing that, hey, you can have a professional come by and rekey the whole house, and I oftentimes will do that for my client, or at least try to get it added into the home warranty cost, and it makes it very easy then for them to know that that's happened. So, very good. So, talking about home warranty on the listing side, is that something we can add as a benefit for a listing?
Yeah.
Yep. Does it cost you anything as an agent? No. So it's just a great opportunity to be able to talk to them and say, hey, this is a benefit of us partnering with home warranty companies. They will cover you. So do you want to talk a little bit about listing coverage?
So the listing coverage, what I appreciate with Freedom Home Warranty and the listing coverage is how black and white it is. I'm sure you've worked with home warranty companies before, where there can be some gray area with repair addendums and what the home warranty company will cover, what they won't cover. So what I appreciate about Freedom is the fact that once an offer is accepted on the home, that free listing coverage goes away. And that is so that once I'm drawing a blank. Once the repair addendum is given to you and you go over it with your client or what have you, there's no question as to whether or not the home warranty is going to cover it. If the inspector has found it, it is not going to be covered by the warranty company. That free listing service is only intended to act as a safety net while the home is on the market, before an offer is accepted. And that makes it very black and white for you guys to offer that coverage as well. There doesn't ever have to be communication with your sellers. Well, maybe we can get the home warranty company to cover this. The answer is no. Freedom is not going to cover something that is pre-existing. Technically, it's like insurance fraud. I always use the example, you drive your car into a brick wall and the next day you go to State Farm and say, can you fix this brick wall damage? Not so much. You didn't have coverage the day before, they're not going to cover something that happened when you didn't have insurance on the car. Same with the home warranty company. It is technically fraud to try to get them to cover something. Yeah.
Oh, so if it's the free listing coverage and it's taken on by the seller, and you find something wrong during that time, then it's not covered.
So if there is damage that takes place during the time of the listing, that's what the home warranty is intended to cover. It's not intended to cover something that's on your repair addendum that the inspector finds. That's damage that was there prior to the home warranty being in place for the most part.
For example, how about 25 years of furnace?
25 years of furnace. Is it 25 years old or is there really something wrong with it? Because there's lots of 25-year-old furnaces that work fine. If there's something wrong with the furnace, that's what the home warranty company is hoping that you would use that coverage for. Not just because it's old. I'm old, I don't need to be replaced, but you know, it just it matters what the contractor says. You all know more than I do how many inspections come across where, you know, everything is just fine and dandy with the furnace. It's perfect. It doesn't need to be repaired, or doesn't need to be looked at, or doesn't need any type of tune-up or maintenance done to it. We don't see that often, but the verbiage that we're looking for is whether or not it is functional. Is the furnace functional? We all know it can be 25, 35 years old and functional, but whether or not it's functioning at the time of the inspection is what we're looking for. Yeah.
So let's say I put a listing coverage on a home. We find out in an inspection that furnace is toast. That's not something that happened during the sale procedure. That was Is it covered for the seller? Really?
What's this?
Because you accepted an offer,
it seems
that
to me
coverage
it's
has
kind
already
of a
gone away.
worthless
Yeah.
listing program then.
So the key is once you've accepted an offer, the coverage goes away. So by the time that inspector comes in, there is no longer listing coverage on the home. It has to be found that the damage to the home, or the damage to the appliances or the systems in the home, has to be found during the listing period, not when it's in escrow, not when the inspection has come back or is being done.
Right.
So if something breaks, then it's covered during the listing period,
Correct.
I guess is what you're saying.
Correct.
So then but once it's discovered by an inspector,
Correct.
that's when it's not gonna be
And,
covered.
So
and
if-
really, go ahead.
Excuse me. If I put a listing coverage on it and then had the seller do their own home inspection,
Like pre-listing.
It's not an escrow.
would that cover?
Is the home in escrow?
No. Pre-sale inspection.
It should cover it. If you have not had an inspection done, if you have not accepted an offer and there has not been an inspection done, the coverage would apply.
A couple of things. I sold a house here last year that we had Freedom Home Warranty on, and the stove top, the glass stove top cracked, and they wrote a check. They said, "Well, we can't fix it." They wrote a check for $750 to the homeowners to get a new stove.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going through the same thing in my condo. I've got a heat pump, and we're right in the midst of, and that's all been okay to have, as long as we
So-
can find a new.
And you bring up a good point. Appliances such as refrigerators, washer and dryers, dishwashers, those things you will find more often than not, the home warranty company typically will replace it. We do a high volume of business with manufacturers, so it's a lot less expensive for us just to pay for a new dishwasher than it is to pay the contractor, their service call fee,
Right.
the hours of labor, the parts.
Right.
We can just replace the dishwasher. Now, something like your HVAC system, AC unit, not the case. Those units, as you are aware, are thousands of dollars to replace. So, do you think that a $395 warranty is going to cover an HVAC system to be replaced for thousands of dollars? Probably not. But those systems are big enough that we can have the contractor come in and identify exactly what the problem is and replace whatever the issue may be. Whether, perhaps there's several issues for far less than what we could to replace the unit. So typically with the HVAC system, you will see repairs. With the other appliances, you probably expect a replacement a lot of the times. Yeah.
So if it's not repairable, there's a limit on what the warranty will cover, is that
Correct. And the limits for each system and appliance are different. So like Tom said, refrigerator, $750 check to replace. I always recommend, if you have the ability through the home warranty company, if they recommend replacing, I always recommend having the home warranty company provide the replacement for you. So rather than we send you a check and you go get your own refrigerator, I always prefer to have the clients get the refrigerator through the home warranty company. Why? Because you can get a lot more bang for your buck. Like I said, we do a high volume of business with manufacturers. with Whirlpool, with many other manufacturers. So your ability to get a much better appliance at our cost is you have a much greater chance of doing that if you allow us to order that unit for you. Make sense?
I have a question, Chelsea.
Yeah.
You guys have, if someone doesn't have a contractor to call, and you guys have contractors that you use?
We do, absolutely.
Okay.
We would prefer that you use our contractors because we already have negotiated contracts with them, but, you know, 6 in one, half a dozen in the other, that's not going to happen. You know, there's a 50-50 chance that you may not be able to get an appointment with our contractor in a timely fashion. Or maybe you've gone online and you looked at reviews and you just don't like the contractor the home warranty company uses. That's fine. You are more than welcome to use your own. I am happy to help you find one as well.
What's the copay?
$65 copay. So Eric mentioned before, oftentimes he has given the Reiki service as a gift to his buyers. That's a $65 gift that he has given them. The buyers don't usually know that that's a $65 gift. They see a much higher value in the Reiki service. And so that is something that is very appreciated from
Explain that again.
So in order to have a home rekeyed, it is a $65 service call to the warranty company.
And is that 2 locks or 3 locks?
Up to 6 locks.
Up to 6 locks.
And they're not fancy locks, they're not, you know, the code locks or the fingerprint or whatever, the cornea scan. They're just regular locks, up to 6 of them. And so that is a great gift to your buyers because, like you said,
And you can get the seller to pay for it if you ask for it and build it into your cost.
Definitely.
So, I mean, if you're going the $395 plan.
If the client does have a coded lock, what happens then?
They would just pay to have that particular lock. If they want it to remain coded, they would just pay themselves to have that lock redone if they want. If it's a coded lock, I would imagine they'd just reset a code, maybe.
Yeah, they're pretty helpful. I mean, the last ones I did, they helped reset some different codes and things like that at no cost, but you can't always promise that.
Right.
So that's the other piece is we're not experts on it, and you don't want to promise, that the fridge will be replaced. If you know there's something wrong with it, it's probably not going to be. So on their brochure, they do give you some ideas on why things would be denied. So improper maintenance. So if they find out that you didn't change your air filter forever and that caused an issue for a breakdown, that's improper maintenance, right? So you want to make sure that they're staying up on the maintenance of those things because that's no excuse then to have things break because you didn't do the thing you needed to do, right? Code violations. Do you have a question?
I did. I was going to say that being that it's fresh in my mind, when you make a claim, don't call your contractor and have your contractor come over and tell you call Freedom Home Warranty to let them know you have an issue. Because if you do, then that would deny your claim.
They could. I mean, so you want to go the appropriate way. So yeah. So code violations. So they have something that's improperly installed. It wasn't done up to code when they got it done. The homeowner installed their own AC and forgot to hook it up the right way or reversed the wires and blew the unit out. Do you think that's going to be covered? No. Unusual wear and tear. So obviously things that are 20, 30 years old, normal wear and tear. But if they got a new unit and now it breaks, 3 months later because something's wrong with it or installed improperly, then.
So if there's an older unit that is working when they purchase the house, like let's say her 25-year-old furnace is maintained and working, but it breaks within that 1 year because of age, it might not be covered.
No.
That's exactly what a home warranty should cover.
So it's not due to age, but improper. So if it was just installed and it was not installed properly, or it was a violation, they hooked it up wrong, those types of things. But if it's been working for 20 years and something just magically happens and it breaks, as long as it wasn't discovered under your home inspection and it wasn't like broken before they bought the house, then oftentimes. Now, once again, we don't want to, as a real estate agent, I'm an expert on the claims process. No, that's where the homeowner really needs to make that phone call into it. So improper installation is one of the other ones they had. So as an agent, do we ever want to promise coverage?
No.
No. So we're not an expert on it. So if the homeowner has questions, obviously they can call Freedom Home Warranty. However, we also have a great rep that can maybe give them a little bit of advice on how to best do it. If they call up and say, well, it was broken when I moved in, do you think it's covered? No, right? I mean, there was no expectation that it was in good working order then. And so it's certainly not a get out of jail free card like, oh, everything was broken before I bought the house and I knew it was broken, but the home warranty company's there to stand behind everything, right? And so.
Eric brought up a good point. I am not even the expert. I'm not a contractor. I work for the home warranty company. So I'm an expert at what the verbiage in the contract says, what the home warranty company will cover and what it won't cover. But I'm not a contractor. I'm not an expert as to what's wrong with the refrigerator or what's wrong with the furnace, or that is something that the expert contractor will determine. So we really rely heavily on the opinion of the contractor before we can make a decision whether or not it is it would be warranted or not. Yeah.
So if somebody got an inspection, like a buyer, and then they got the seller to pay for coverage, or they paid for coverage and they closed, then something breaks, or, I mean, do you guys ask for the inspection report?
No. I really don't like looking at inspections. Yeah. It's just a dark rain cloud.
All they do is refer you to another inspector if you need further inspection. Anyway, so in a duplex, I have a listing as a duplex, and it's not owner occupied, it's tenant occupied. So how would that work? I want to offer the listing package to
No
them.
difference. No
Okay.
difference. I would make the tenant probably the contact on the home warranty if that's what the owner prefers. So that if there is an emergency, the homeowner or the renter can call in to the home warranty company to file a claim.
So, what you're saying, I've got a tenant in a townhome, and I've got this Freedom Home Warranty, so you suggest I tell the tenant to call if there's a problem?
Yeah, if you prefer to have the tenant be available to make that claim call, and you want the home warranty company to talk to your tenant about any problems that may arise, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, one more thing.
Yeah.
So if I offer them the listing coverage, then am I in essence offering the buyer the same thing, or is it I'm paying for the listing coverage for the Patriot plan, and then the seller can offer the buyer the buyer plan?
Exactly. So you're not paying for the listing coverage, it's free to you during the listing period. Typically the seller will offer to pay for the home warranty once the property goes in escrow.
Yes.
I actually had a buyer who had home warranty coverage, and then at the end of his year, he had it re-inspected, because the inspector gives like a discount for re-inspection, to find all those little things that that happened throughout that year. And it was good for him, because there were a few squeaky boards that they replaced.
And they can always extend coverage too, so it's certainly not a one and done. Most of the inspection home warranty companies want continued coverage because they've already covered the appliances up to that point. They would add coverage, but that's a decision that they would ask your buyer then to make, and they would do their own thing. So the main thing though is knowing what you can offer and what you can say on this. So don't overpromise. Don't say, "Hey, this covers everything in the house," right? Things like that. You want to be careful when you're wording on it. And that's why I give them 3 different brochures so they can read them over and see what's available on it. But for me, I just want to give that peace of mind knowing that I at least talked about it, because what's the most common things that's going to break down? Probably one of these appliances, right? The ice maker for the fridge isn't going to work, something like that. And I just want to be able to know peace of mind that I at least talked about it and gave them the option to have that coverage. So one question though is, who orders a home warranty? Is it set? Is there somebody that always has to order it? The agent orders it? Could a client order it? Sure. Is it the listing agent or the buyer's agent that orders it? As long as it gets ordered, right? It doesn't really matter. There's not an industry standard that says you have to order it, right? However, what do you think they ask for when you order the home warranty? Who's going to pay for it, right? And oh, Heather, please chime in here. Yes.
The buyer's contact information.
Yes. So do you think as a listing agent you always have that? You may not have the buyer's contact information. Now you can of course leave it blank and things like that, but how are they going to get a hold of the buyer then? Or send in the notifications or make sure that they have that coverage or email them a copy of the contract if they don't have it, right?
So the worst thing that can happen is the buyer's first introduction to the home warranty company is through a broken pipe in a flooded basement. The first time I speak to one of your buyers, or the home warranty or the claims department speaks to one of your buyers, I don't want it to be through a claim. It's nice to have that buyer's information up front, their phone number and their email address, so that we can reach out to them prior to the home warranty company sending out all of their paperwork and say, hey, a home warranty's been purchased for you. Let me tell you what is involved with the home warranty. Let me tell you what's covered. Let me tell you what you have to do in case of an emergency. Here's the number you need. We want to prepare them ahead of time so that the first introduction to the home warranty company isn't a crisis moment.
Yeah, I have a question, actually, because I ordered a home warranty from you, I'm not sure how this works. Who sends if the seller is paying out of escrow for the buyer to have a home warranty, who sends the invoice to the escrow officer?
We do. So one of the requirements to order a home warranty is to specify who pays, and oftentimes it is paid through title will issue payment at closing. So we would need to know the name of the escrow officer.
I always come across that a lot. The second screen on Freedom's
Yeah,
website
it is.
is who's the escrow officer.
Well, I gave it to you and they don't have it to you.
I'll talk to you afterwards. I can get it.
I've had some title companies not say they got it, even though I know they did,
Yeah.
and have to send it again. So, as an agent, though, you just want to make sure that you see that it's on there and that it's correctly being paid for. Because sometimes title gets it wrong. Sometimes they don't know who's paying for it. And if you're helping the buyer and the seller's supposed to pay for it, let's face it, most buyers don't understand what they're signing. They have a bunch of stuff on that form, and they're like, all these fees, and they may not realize that they're end up paying for the home warranty, or that it's not on there, right? We had a case recently where a home closed. They were supposed to have a home warranty. It was in the contract, but neither agent ordered it. Title didn't catch that it was in the contract, and so 2 months later, the homeowner that bought the home said, oh, I should have coverage, and found out they didn't have coverage. They had to go back to the seller, and the seller ended up paying for it because they didn't pay for it out of escrow. But in the meantime, there was some claims that had issues and things like that, and so it wasn't the smoothest process. So it doesn't matter who's supposed to pay for it or order it, just that it gets done, right? And so that's communication between both parties and the agent.
I just actually had one where we closed too, and it wasn't like we had like the top package or whatever, and it was just the basic plan. And so looking on the settlement statement, I kind of caught that and called back and said, you guys just ordered the basic, and according to our contract, we're asking for the up to 500 or whatever it was and stuff too. So they went back, and this was actually after closing that they went ahead and still honored that for us. Actually, the agent had to pay the difference.
Yeah. Okay. And that's why it's important that you check your settlement statement before it closes, because you'll be able to see on there the credits and debits with the buyer and seller. So.
And on that note, I've talked to Freedom, so I do know that as long as nothing has changed within a certain period of time, you can still add it as long as nothing has been.
It's usually within your first 30 days, or so. I'm
Or
not a
you have
real
to wait
stickler
30
on
days.
30 days.
And extension, do you want to talk about home warranty extension for their clients in case someone asks that? I know that's available as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. So, first 30 days that the home warranty has been ordered, clients can upgrade. If the sellers have provided just the basic coverage or the middle package, or perhaps there's a gas fireplace in the home, they want coverage for that, which is something that the packages themselves do not offer. That is a a la carte option you can add. That's available. Your buyers are available to do that.
How much is that?
Gas fireplace coverage?
Yeah.
I think it's $60.
Let me see here.
Right in here, under optional coverages, and every plan's different.
Which most home warranty, Freedom's the only company that I know offers gas fireplace coverage and doorbells and central vacuum systems, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and I don't, you probably aren't aware of this, but the home warranty company really doesn't make any money off of the warranty the first year. $295, $395. I mean, you know the cost that is involved with replacing or repairing an appliance or an HVAC system. So there's not a huge profit the first year, if any, on the warranties. It's the second year when the homeowner renews, the price goes up for them because the appliances have been used for a year. There isn't a safety net like that inspection report to kind of dictate what's gone wrong and what has had an opportunity to be repaired. So the second year on is when the home warranty company offers additional coverage, and that's when your buyers can renew if they choose to. And that's typically not something that you guys would be involved in. We would reach out to your buyers to offer a renewal to them. It's never automatically renewed. No one is ever automatically charged for an additional year. We always offer that option by reaching out to the buyers.
Do we get a discount as for our own homes?
Yeah, absolutely. You get the same. You get the same cost of a real estate. So these prices, this is real estate pricing. This pricing is offered only for homes that are a part of a real estate transaction. Why can we offer these prices at such a low rate? Because we know we're banking on the fact that there will be an inspection done and that you agents will help work through that repair addendum with your buyers and sellers at that point. So we know that there will be things that we won't have to cover because it will have been covered by the sellers prior to closing. That we all know that's not the case after the buyers have been in the home for a year plus. So with you and your own home as agents, we offer the same pricing to you for your warranties, even though your home's not a part of a real estate transaction. Yeah.
I do have a question on when you're doing a new construction home, there's the builder's warranty.
Correct.
So how does your warranty interfere with or cause, is there any issues getting a home warranty even though there's already a builder warranty?
So the builder will typically cover the home for a year. Manufacturer warranty will cover all of the new appliances up to a year. So it's really the second and third year that the home warranty kicks in. However, Freedom works really, really well with smaller builders. I mean, not so much a Renaissance or someone like that, but a lot of times the builder will use the home warranty company to help kind of screen for nail pops or paint issues or some of those small things that you notice when you first move into a home. So, and what I mean by that is the builder will use the home warranty company, i.e. have the homeowner call the builder and say, hey, we've got a couple boards that are loose, there's some nails that are, popped over here. So they will use the home warranty company to go in and repair those things so that they don't have to, and that's strictly a relationship between the builder and the home warranty company. But that's another great way, another great reason to use Freedom because of that relationship that we're happy to have with the builders. And that's another great way to have the warranty company introduce themselves to the buyers as well by having the builder use them for small things like that.
You also have a 4-year coverage plan. That's very affordable, right?
Absolutely.
What was the 4-year? $895? Is it? So on a new construction, you get a 4-year warranty, and it's $895. So and also keep in mind there is additional second-year coverage that's available at a discount. So remember, she was talking about second year normally goes up, but if you're talking to your buyer, the second-year coverage actually is a discount if they buy it at the same time. So something to think about there.
So the coverage is only up to $500 per repair, correct? Or is it total?
It's per appliance. The coverage amounts differ per appliance and per system. So a refrigerator has a different limit than the HVAC. Washer dryer has a different limit than, say a garbage disposal.
Yeah, because Tom just had $750 paid out for a new stove or whatever.
And one thing that's important to remember, closing costs.
Wait, what's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
So Tom just had $750 paid out for a stove or something like that.
Oh,
So
right. Is it just seller's coverage that they only?
Yes.
go-
Correct.
Seller's
Seller's coverage is a $500 limit.
There you go, that's
Yep.
what I read.
On absolutely everything. But which is helpful. Eric mentioned the additional rate, the rate change after a second year. If you can get, so one thing we're realizing in closing costs, there's always, not always, but oftentimes there's money that left over, correct? And legally, there are only certain things that money can be used for, like prepaid mortgage insurance. Home warranty is one of those things that can be used for. So rather than giving that money back to the sellers, negotiate to have that money put towards the buyers in a home warranty. So that money that's left over in closing costs, put it towards a home warranty. Oftentimes it's $1,000 or $1,200 or $1,500. It is a random amount. It's not always the exact price of a home warranty, but that leftover money will provide a second year, a third year of coverage, or coverage in prepaid service call fees, so that if they have 3 issues with the washer and dryer, the refrigerator, the dishwasher, then the service call fees for each of those repairs would have been covered because they had a credit on their account. So be cognizant of that. When you're closing, if there's money left over, always ask that you put it towards a home warranty if you want to, because that way it doesn't go back to the seller. That money is intended to go towards the buyers in closing, and so this is a good way to keep it
So
down.
that credit goes to you.
So if
and
you
put it in.
asked for $6,000 in
Credit
closing
that for your
costs and they're
buyer.
only $5,500, you're leaving $500 on the table.
Right.
And I've seen agents do that all the time. We asked for $6,000, we wanted to estimate a little high, and the lender said, oh, it's $5,500 because of the prorated taxes and all that fun stuff. Well, now there's $500 that could be applied towards something different if you notice and actually take the initiative to do it.
It happens
Otherwise, it goes back to the seller.
all day, every day. Thousands of dollars just gets kicked back to the sellers, and oftentimes the buyers have, most of the time buyers have no idea, but that money was intended, the sellers assume that that money is going towards the buyer anyway, so it's a surprise that they're getting it back. Why not reserve that money for your buyers? Your buyers will absolutely see you as an angel if you can do that for them. That's something that a lot of agents aren't aware they can do, so you will have a leg up on a lot of other agents if you're aware of that.
And you can talk to the lender as well and tell them this
Yeah.
is what you want
Yeah.
to do so that they can make sure that if
Absolutely.
there is an overage, that it is going to be covered.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very good.
Courtney, there's a line in here that says additional square footage per 1,000 feet
Mhm.
for $85 or whatever. What's the?
5,000 square feet.
5,000.
So these warranties will cover a home up to 5,000 square feet. Any enormous home over 5,000 square feet will probably have larger systems, more appliances within the home. So you would have to provide extra coverage for that.
Okay. So these are all great questions, and all ones that every home warranty company is a little different. So just know that you're not the expert on it. So this is the contract, has the fine print. You need to provide this to your buyers. So don't assume, don't say, hey, we got your coverage, everything's covered. Give it to them so they can make the decision. Who do you think should decide what package they should order? 1, 2, or 3? I mean, there's 3 packages. Should I just be saying, well, we'll go with the cheapest one every time? No. You should ask the homeowner, the new buyer, and just say, hey, which one would you like? You know, we've got $400 coming from the seller because we asked for it. And a lot of times they want to upgrade. It's only $100 then to upgrade, maybe add that second year coverage. But you would hate to assume that, okay, I'm going to choose the basic coverage and you forget something that they think is important. Maybe the window AC units, things like that. So. Yep.
How are you worded in the original offer? Because I usually put the seller credits we were closing costs or we say expenses and home warranty, or would you put that verbiage in there?
You could say and home warranty, but you could also say prepaid expenses and then do an addendum afterwards. Yep. Absolutely. So just know that, you know, offering it to your client, hopefully will give you peace of mind knowing that you did it. If you do it religiously with every client, you don't have to think back 6 months ago when I talked to that buyer, did I offer it to them or not? Just make it part of your inspection period. Bring these to your inspection. Bring a couple, bring whichever ones you want, but give them to your client. Don't assume that they don't want it. You know, I've had some clients who are like, oh, I never would buy one of those. I never buy it for a TV. I don't feel bad. I don't get paid a commission off selling these things, right? But I know that I gave them the option. So they call me up 3 or 4 months from now and say, my dishwasher's broken. What should I do? Well, I gave you the choice for a home warranty. You know, you own the home now, right? And so there's really not much I can do. Yep.
I would say that.
All right. So home warranty, I think the thing that we notice sometimes is who orders it. There's a debate back and forth between the buyer's agent and seller's agent. I don't care who orders it as long as it gets ordered, right? As long as it gets paid for the right way. But that's one of our responsibilities. Now, are we liable if it doesn't get ordered? No, right? If the buyer really wants it, the buyer should make sure it's on there. They're signing that title. They're signing the final paperwork. So it's not our responsibility necessarily to say, oh boy, it didn't get ordered. Oh, I feel responsible for it. The nice thing is a responsible agent should be able to help their client, guide them through it, and notice those types of things. But if we don't notice for something happens, it's not like, oh boy, now I have to come out of my pocket for it, right? So you're not taking liability on, and that's the other piece. Why I give them the brochure is because I don't want to take the liability on and say, oh, I'll do it. I'll make sure that this happens, all that other stuff. I want to make sure that they know their options and they have some options to do it. So they can order it themselves too. I don't normally make my buyers do that. I normally do send them a copy of it when I order it though. Send them an invoice letting them know that they have it. So, good. I know we took a long time on home warranties, but it was great to have you here. And hopefully if you have any questions, ask her about coverages and all that stuff. But I would encourage you to have a few of these in your car. Anytime you go to a home inspection, bring one of these out. You're going to sit there for an hour or two with your buyer. Why not give them an opportunity and give them something to read, right? So, All right, let's talk a little bit about escrow instructions and broker demands.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
So where would I find broker instructions or an escrow demand? Forms. So maybe have a form on Zip Forms. I know in Washington we have a generic one, but we always want to use the More Realty one. So on Basecamp, under More Realty HQ, Documents and Links, there is More Docs Escrow Instructions. So why do you think it's important that we use our form?
It has your address.
Because it has our address on it, right? And so we try to put the address on there. We put it, make sure, give them a number to call, all that type of stuff, because we want to get paid, right? And if they don't have our address, or they decide to send things to one of our other offices, do all of our other offices have a receptionist there just waiting for that check to come in? No. I can tell you, when we have an office in Camas, I'm there a couple times a week. Sometimes I'll walk in on a few occasions and there's a check waiting for an agent that's been there for 2 or 3 days. They didn't send it to the right place, and so it delays that check. And so you want to make sure you use our escrow instructions and know how to fill it out, right? Make sure that you understand what needs to go where and who signs the bottom. Do I have to send it to Paul or somebody else to sign the bottom? No. Now, some people came from other companies, and oftentimes they require their broker to do that, right? The principal broker. We do not. You have the ability to control your own paychecks, and so you sign the bottom and send it off to title. Or, if you're using the TC department, they will prepare it, send it to you to sign. And why did they do that? Because it's your responsibility to make sure that the dollar amount, your paycheck's on there correctly, right? Because if they filled it out and just sent it off and you didn't know what you were getting paid and it was off a couple $100, you would be like, oh man, those guys did that. They made me lose money, right? So make sure you know where they're at. There is a fillable PDF. You can also fill it out using DocuSign or another form thing option there too. But make sure you use the correct one. Don't use an old one. Don't make up an address or anything like that. Use the correct form. Just want to make sure we have that in there. A lot of times they'll send that form back to us. Sometimes they won't, but we want a copy in the file. So just make sure if you need help figuring out how to do that, ask somebody to do it. It's an exciting time, basically saying you're getting paid, right? So,
Eric.
yes.
Question.
Uh-huh.
If the seller actually is a for sale by owner,
Uh-huh.
and the offer, it did indicate that the seller will pay the buyer's agent such amount of the commission, do we need to have other document or just put this one as a final?
So, this one is what's going to instruct the escrow company to do it.
Yeah.
However, if the seller says, well, I didn't agree to that, then of course you need additional documentation. So if I'm going to a for sale by owner, I would get an additional form signed by them acknowledging they're paying my commission.
Even though the offer that did state that the seller agreed to pay buyer's agent X dollar amount of
Well, if it's clear in the offer, normally we don't negotiate commission directly in the offer, but if you did, title would accept that. You don't need a special form. But there is a form that you can use when you're going to go show a for sale by owner home. Before you show it, saying, hey, Mr. Seller, please sign this form just saying that you agree to pay me 2% or whatever if I end up bringing the buyer to you. So obviously if you put in the offer, normally we don't negotiate commissions directly in the offer, but if you did, then it would be sufficient. So, yep. So let's talk a little bit about escrow instructions though. There's a spot here that says referral. I know it's really small so you can't see it. What goes there?
You have a referral for somebody that maybe gave you the lead or
Op City.
Yes.
Whatever.
So that is important so that they know, and so there's 2 different ways that referral can get paid out. One is title can send More Realty the full check, and then we have to split it out here, which works, but do you think that delays the paycheck for the person that referred it? Oftentimes, a lot of op cities, those bigger companies, want their referral paid out through title. And so this is instructing title how to pay that out. Normally, if you have a referral here, though, what do you think you should attach to it? A referral agreement. Why? Because if title's going to pay out the referral, they probably need to know where to send it to, right? And does this form say, send them money to XYZ address? No, they won't be able to do that. So not only do you do the broker demand, but also a referral form should go with the broker demand. Because title's not a mind reader. Just because you put Op City doesn't mean they know what Op City is or where to send the money to. Op City will send a specific form over that they want to make sure they get paid on. So even though the bigger companies are really good at doing that, but how about if you get a referral from another agent with inside More Realty? what should you do?
Well, you put it in
Just say thanks, right?
the
Put it in the notes. So in SkySlope, there's a spot to put it in the notes, but we do request that you have all referrals done in writing, because I would hate to say, well, we agreed on a 20% referral fee, and you're like, no, I thought it was 30, or it was 25. So get it in writing, and we have a form that helps facilitate that. So normally, who sends the referral agreement to whom? The person getting the referral, or the person giving the referral?
Giving.
As long as it gets done, I don't care, but normally it's the person giving, because they're the ones that normally are putting on the referral agreement the details of the client they're giving the referral to. So we have an intra or inside More Realty referral agreement, which basically is just between two agents with more. And then we also have one that goes outside the company. And so normally the person giving the client to another agent is the one that fills it out, because they're the ones that really want to make sure they get paid. But as long as somebody fills it out and they both sign it, I don't care who does what, right? But we just want to make sure it's done in writing. So that way there's less questions about it, and where does the check get sent, or who gets what, all of those types of things, right?
So there are some companies that will, if you're referring to an outside company, that will ask for the tax ID number. So do you want to show them where that's at, that information? For some reason, not sure if they're not the ones paying, the check going to them.
If they're asking for a tax ID number, they're asking for the W-9 or the tax ID number more, and in the same folder is the tax ID number for More Realty. And so sometimes they will ask for that in order for their accounting system to set us up as a payee. Some don't, some do. Certainly, it's available for you there. But just know that there is a form for inside, referring to another agent inside More, and then there's a form for referring outside the company. Yes?
If there's a co-listing broker, can it all go on the same form, both amounts? Or do
Yes.
you need two escrow instructions?
No, I mean, you should be able to fit it all in one form. As long as you can make it clear that title has any questions, they should normally give you a call. But yeah, normally as long as it can fit there, that's why we do have an extra line and a spot for additional notes. So certainly there's instructions there, and oftentimes I'll put in
I put it in
other, or put a note here, and then notes down here. So just knowing exactly what needs to be done, breaking out the paycheck, and knowing that, okay, this percentage is going to this person. So, yes?
We're sending a outside referral. Does it get signed by the PB, right? One of the PBs?
So a lot of companies require the PB to sign them because they're the ones ultimately responsible to make sure that it gets sent out. So yes, we do have a spot for the PB to sign.
So what's the process for if I'm creating one to send to an agent in Texas?
Great question. So what's the fastest way to get a response from a PB at More Realty? Yes, we have an email address set up that basically goes to all the PBs, and if you send something for that to be signed electronically, they will be able to get it done normally within a few minutes. I mean, we normally say within an hour or two, but I normally see it happen almost right away. So especially if it's set up so that we just have to click and sign.
Yeah. Whose name do we put on it?
So you just say any PB at More Realty, and then when we sign, we'll put our name there.
So we don't have to put it in DigiSign and send it to that address. We just send the form.
So if you want to sign quickly, yes, put it in DigiSign or another signing platform. Send it to ORPB. Yep.
I just put Paul.
So please send it over so we can just click and sign. That's going to get you the fastest response. If you put it in DigiSign or something, just let us click on it, sign it, and get it sent off. Yep.
And then it comes back to us and we forward it at that point.
Yeah, unless you set up DigiSign to forward it for you, or whatever.
So I did that and I have no idea where it is right now. That was about a month ago.
So remember on DigiSign, you can go check the status.
Oh, okay.
So, but absolutely, you should get an email when it's all completed.
So on the disclosed limited agency agreement, just put any more principal broker on that too?
Yep, on your DLA, you can put that on there. Yep. Very good. So, but
I
please.
normally ask for them to say managing PB because we do have PBs that more than,
Yeah,
so.
as long as it gets signed.
Yeah.
So, but yep, if you send it to ORPB, that's going to be the easiest way to get a faster response. So.
You need to put somebody's name so it will be signed by a person. So I would send it out.
So if you send it over DigiSign, when I pull it up to sign, it lets me put my name in.
Right, but I can, but just so what I think we would clarify is that I put Paul Knighton, doesn't matter.
You can.
Just anybody.
Or you can type in any managing principal broker at More Realty as the name.
Because we can change that. Yeah, so what
When their signatures say any, whatever.
So when we pull it up, just like your client. So if I send out to our client, I forget their middle initial, I spelled their name wrong, they can fix it before they sign.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The system allows them to fix it
Okay.
and choose their signature.
Alright.
So
to be clear, if I'm giving a referral,
Uh-huh.
initiating a referral to some other outside agent,
yep.
I can sign Paul's name on it as a,
So as a principal broker, if it has a spot for principal broker, then no.
pardon?
If it has a spot that says principal broker, so on the referral agreement that goes outside, she's talking about the broker demand, the
Oh,
escrow
broker
instructions.
demand.
But on a referral agreement, most of the referral agreements have a PB signature on them because that's what most companies want.
Okay, so I can send it to any of the people.
Yep, you just send it to ORPB,
ORPB.
we'll get it signed right away.
Yeah.
Yep. Very good. So when should escrow instructions be completed?
As soon as possible.
When you open.
Is there a right time or a wrong time?
Sooner the
There's a
better.
wrong
Sooner the
time.
better.
Wrong time is after escrow.
Yes. So the wrong time is when they have to call you and say, hey, do you want to get paid on this one, right? So oftentimes title companies will ask for it when you open escrow, but just knowing that you need to get it done a few days before closing. Because that's probably the biggest thing that we hear, from the title is, hey, I'm still waiting for escrow instructions. I'm still waiting for that. Does it hold up the closing process if you don't have it over there?
No.
It could. They use it to figure out their final HUD 1, all that stuff, right? And so they could be waiting for those numbers, or they could just use the other agent's numbers and assume they're correct. But just knowing that it's in your process and on the checklist, get it done as soon as you can get it in there. The TC normally, and I do it normally after appraisal comes back, because then price changes are all done, all that other stuff. But you can certainly do it as soon as you open escrow. You just may have to do it again, right? And so I try to avoid doing it again during the inspection period. We may negotiate a price again. The appraisal could have came low, those types of things. Just don't forget about it, because nothing worse than having to have title track you down to try to find it, right? So, let's see. So just remember those in Basecamp. So good. So we talked about how to get support from principal brokers. Just email it over. How many of you guys have called the main number for the office? So we did update our calling tree, and now we are having Chris at the front counter do some live answering of phone calls during business hours. But if you want to get a hold of certain people, here's the cheat sheet. It's available on Basecamp. When you call the main number, you type in their extension. So if you want to get a hold of Melissa, you're going to hit extension 104 and it rings her desk. So if you want to get a hold of me, extension 108, it actually rings my cell phone. So don't call it too often, but yeah. So just know that we've made it easy, so you call the main number. If a client calls, if they don't get the front desk person, she's busy, things like that, it will go to a voicemail, and we will basically forward that voicemail over to the listing agent. So we try to pass it on as quickly as possible. So if you are a listing agent and they call the number on the sign and you don't have your cell phone number up there, and they call the office, oftentimes they'll leave a voicemail, we'll forward it right over to you. So. Yep. So we email over the voicemail to you. The only challenge we have sometimes is they don't leave an address, or they don't tell us enough details to find out who it was. And then, of course, we got to get somebody to call them back and be like, "What were you calling about again?" "Oh, that house in Beaverton." "Oh, okay. Which one?" "The pink one." Right? And so we do ask them to leave as much details as they can, but that helps us if they do that, right? But please get your phone number on your sign, because that way it avoids hopefully getting a lot of phone calls to the office. So, very good. So remember, we have some CE classes going on this week. In about a half hour, we have the class for cross country, but it's 11 o'clock right now, so thanks for your attention. All right, guys. Yes.
Yeah.
This is